Hello everyone, welcome to Delusion. I'm Sunshine. Have you ever had an experience where, in the dead of night or during a solitary moment, distant and blurry voices suddenly echo in your mind? Maybe it's a melody, a casual remark, or a long-forgotten scene. These voices feel like ghosts from the past, haunting us, driving us, and even shaping who we are. Many of the efforts we make in life are, in fact, attempts to quiet these voices that come from the deepest corners of our hearts. Today, let's talk about a film that explores how to silence the screaming lambs within, the film, The Silence of the Lambs. This movie, released in 1991 and directed by Jonathan Demme, is often regarded as an insurmountable cinematic masterpiece. It is more than just a thriller, it's a profound psychological drama that won the top 5 Oscars in its year: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Such a grand slam is exceedingly rare in Oscar history. Starring Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, both delivered Oscar-worthy performances. Especially Anthony Hopkins, his portrayal of Dr. Hannibal Lecter is one of the most iconic, elegant, and chilling characters in film history, despite having less than 20 minutes of screen time. Here's an interesting anecdote. While preparing for the role, Hopkins extensively studied the behaviors of various serial killers. He discovered that what made them truly terrifying wasn't their gruesome appearance but their detached, objectifying gaze, as if they were observing objects rather than people. He incorporated this observation into his performance, and that's why Hannibal rarely blinks on screen, creating an immense psychological pressure for the audience. The protagonist of the story is Clarice Starling, a young FBI trainee. She is intelligent and brave, but she carries a hidden childhood trauma deep within her heart. At the time, the FBI was struggling to solve a notorious case involving a serial killer known as Buffalo Bill, who gruesomely murdered and skinned his female victims. Taking a chance, Clarice's superior sends her to consult a very special expert for help. This expert is none other than Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a once renowned psychiatrist now imprisoned in a mental institution for being a terrifying cannibal. Hannibal is not only extraordinarily intelligent but also dangerously manipulative. He agrees to help Clarice, but on one condition: she must open up about her own past in exchange for clues to the case. What follows is a tense psychological chess game between the two. While hunting down Buffalo Bill, Clarice must also fend off Hannibal's relentless mental probing. It's as if she's walking through a dark tunnel, danger lurking ahead while a predator waits behind her, ready to pounce. Just as Clarice believes she has discovered Buffalo Bill's hideout based on a key clue from Hannibal, she doesn't realize that she is about to face the true devil alone, a devil wielding a blade. Meanwhile, Hannibal executes a meticulously planned, heart-pounding escape from custody. What makes this movie so captivating is that it's not just a simple cop catches the bad guy story. It delves deep into the human psyche, exploring topics we usually shy away from confronting. The first and most central theme is the idea of gazing into the abyss. There's a famous Nietzsche quote: "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster." And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. This perfectly encapsulates the dilemma Clarice faces. To catch Buffalo Bill, she must seek help from Hannibal, an even greater monster. Each conversation with Hannibal is like peering into the darkest recesses of human nature. It's gazing into the abyss. One of the film's most iconic techniques is the subjective shot reverse shot used during Clarice and Hannibal's conversations, where they stare directly into the camera. Jonathan Demme broke tradition with this approach, aligning the audience's gaze with Clarice's. When Hannibal looks at Clarice, he's also looking directly at us. We, like Clarice, are forced to confront that deep abyss representing the darker side of human nature. This is a strikingly immersive experience. Yet, the film's message is not, "Don't look." Instead, it tells us that only by daring to face the abyss, understanding it, knowing it, can we ever hope to conquer it. Clarice, far from being consumed by Hannibal's darkness, confronts her fears again and again, ultimately facing the haunting memory of the lambs screaming on her childhood farm before they were slaughtered. Her growth stems precisely from her courage to face the darkness. This serves as an important insight in life. We all face our own abysses, whether it's challenges at work, conflicts in relationships, or flaws within ourselves. Do we choose to sidestep these issues, pretending they don't exist, or do we face them head-on like Clarice, trying to understand them? The film seems to suggest that the antidote to fear is often found within fear itself. The second theme I'd like to discuss is the power of silence and speaking. The film's English title, The Silence of the Lambs, literally refers to the silence of the lambs. While the lamb here literally refers to the one from Clarice's childhood memory, the one she couldn't save, it's also a symbol for all those who are powerless to speak out against injustice and violence, particularly women. In the film, whether it's the women murdered by Buffalo Bill or Clarice herself, trying to prove herself in a male-dominated FBI, their voices start out muted, silenced. Early in the film, there's a scene where Clarice is crammed into an elevator with a group of male colleagues. She appears so small, so out of place, surrounded by their height and authority, a visual representation of her silence. Her mission then becomes breaking this silence. By speaking to Hannibal about her traumatic past, she exchanges her vulnerability for clues to catching the killer, breaking the silence through words. When she ultimately kills Buffalo Bill and rescues his captive, she breaks the silence through actions. At the end, during her graduation ceremony, Hannibal calls her and asks, "Clarice, have the lambs stopped screaming?" At that moment, the lambs within her find peace. This is a powerful metaphor, signifying the importance of choosing to speak out and take action in the face of trauma and injustice. Often, it's not the trauma itself that traps us but our silence about it. The moment we dare to express our pain, healing begins. This is not just Clarice's fight. It's a journey many of us take in reclaiming our voice and stopping the inner, screaming lambs. Finally, let's talk about Hannibal Lecter, a character who represents extreme, pure evil, yet blends it with a peculiar sense of order and intelligence. Hannibal isn't a chaotic, senseless villain. On the contrary, he's cultured, has his own principles, and despises rudeness, punishing it with the utmost cruelty, often accompanied by the Goldberg variations. This complex portrayal raises a deeply thought-provoking question: where is the line between good and evil? Hannibal is a cannibal, the epitome of evil. Yet he helps Clarice catch another killer, an act that seems good. His twisted justice involves punishing those he deems uncultured with extreme violence. The film provides no definitive answer. Instead, it unflinchingly presents this complexity. Hannibal serves as a mirror, reflecting the dual extremes of human nature. He makes us ponder whether our seemingly orderly and civilized society also conceals primitive desires and instincts. And to what extent can each of us control the beast within? Hannibal's character forces us to re-examine our moral frameworks and the foundations of our civilization. Perhaps this is why, decades later, the film still fascinates and terrifies. It offers no easy comfort, only a challenging but invaluable journey of self-exploration. Near the film's end, after escaping from custody, Hannibal calls Clarice and delivers a chillingly classic line: "I'm having an old friend for dinner." On the surface, it sounds like an invitation to a meal, but given his identity, the subtext is horrifying. It means, "I'm going to eat one of my old friends for dinner." The brilliance of this line lies in how it perfectly merges elegance with brutality, encapsulating Hannibal's character, a polite, cultured cannibal who elevates evil into an art form. It reminds us that true terror often lies not in overt savagery but in the cold, calculated malice wrapped in sophistication and intelligence. So, looking back, The Silence of the Lambs uses its thriller exterior to tell a deeper tale about self-redemption and personal growth. Clarice's pursuit is not just about catching Buffalo Bill, it's also about silencing the screaming lambs in her heart. Meanwhile, Hannibal, the mentor from the abyss, forces her to complete this coming-of-age journey in the most extreme manner. Perhaps each of us harbors a screaming lamb within us, whether it's past trauma, unresolved regrets, or fears about the future. This film serves as a reminder, don't be afraid to listen to the screams, because within them lies the key to growth. Can you hear the lambs screaming in your heart? Are you ready to silence them? That's all for today's episode. Wishing you a good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. This is Delusion, and we'll see you next time.